In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. It's truer than we notice, though not true about the beginning of the universe. It's true about humans. Words begin with us, and almost immediately we got talking about gods as the last word authorities. What most distinguishes us humans is not bigger brains, nor our technology, though it's a huge distinction. But our tech advances wouldn't be possible without words, or more broadly speaking, symbols, both written and spoken, including numbers, math, and logic. Symbols don't resemble what they represent the way a picture of a dog looks like a dog, nor do symbols point to what they represent the way barking suggests the presence of a dog. Symbols are sounds or forms like squiggles, like the word dog, spoken or written, that represent the idea of dogs by social convention. That is, people agree on what they mean. English speakers use the word dog to represent the animal dog. We can string symbols together to represent anything real or fictional. For example, an invisible pink dog in a tutu with candy corn teeth gnawing on the universe like a chew toy. Language is what makes us humans the visionary, delusional species we are. We humans are driving under the influence of symbols. They make us radically, harrowingly, recklessly different from all other critters. It's no wonder that at the beginning of humanity was the Word, and among first words was God, given what a hallucinatory clusterflux symbols make out of the human experience. I'm trying to get folks to appreciate how intense it is for all of us. With words, concepts inconceivable to all other organisms, we are living in a torrent, a maelstrom, a sandstorm of ideas, speculations, debates, arguments, fights, and wars. We're pretty desperate to pin things down. It's hella hard for us to tell visionary from delusional. And it matters. It's inevitable that we'd be hassling each other in what I'll call credibility wars, what I've called infallibility death matches, debates, arguments, and wars over who's the clear-eyed visionary and who's biased and delusional. You know the sound all too well. It goes something like this.
Wow.
Wow, what? That you believe that.
I believe it because it's true.
Yeah, sure.
You don't? You don't believe it?
It's ridiculous.
I can't believe you don't believe it. What's wrong with you? You ought to have your head examined.
No, you ought to have your head examined.
Hello, wake up. Come on, be realistic.
I am being realistic. You're not.
Oh, you're just biased.
No, you're biased.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really.
What makes you say I'm biased?
What makes you say I'm biased?
Well, it'd be obvious to any clear-thinking human being that you're biased.
No, it would be obvious you are.
You're wrong. I'm a critical thinker. I'm logical.
Ha! Like you see things perfectly. So arrogant, so clueless. I can see right through you. You don't have the whole picture at all.
Look who's calling who arrogant. Like you're the expert on arrogance? You really should take a good look in the mirror.
Sound familiar? Cred wars, infallibility death matches, or overall what you could call Credonomics, demand for ways to appear credible, supply of ways to appear credible, cooperation and competition over who's credible, competition for credibility based on who's got the best credo, the best belief system for seeing things most clearly. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, because no matter how you dress the concept of God up, it's the trump card, the gold standard, the last word on credibility. God represents the absolute, eternal, all-seeing, all-knowing, non-contradictory, unbiased, unvarnished truth. The concept of God is a way to pin it all down. In the beginning of humans, we were tossed into an infinitely expanding word salad, a whole new source of tugs and shoves, yankings and rankings, a whole new school of hard knocks, beyond rocks and weather, predators and parasites. With Words we humans are rattling up, down, and all around a tower of babble and squabble, duking it out not just over what's right, but how we know and who really knows, who's seeing clearly and who's biased, misinterpreting, contorting, and distorting the truth. In the beginning of humans was the Word, and the Word was God, the idea of some ultimate, absolute, supreme court of last resort. The buck stops with God to get us unstuck from the squabbling. You hear that human craving for last words in all written records of early thought. The Greeks' Zeus, the Chinese mandate of heaven, the Hebrews' Yahweh, the Chinese Tao. Even Socrates and Plato, keen to live in accord with the ideal ideas. Revelation was not about seeing some light, it was about seeing the light, the ultimate light as God sees it, and therefore the last word on who gets the last word. Credonomics is human cooperation and competition over who gets the last word. People aligning to forge common fronts in battles over last words, in competition with other proclaimed last words. It's understandable, natural, and inevitable. It's a product of having words, because with words, we can have words about words ad infinitum, like court cases that unresolved get kicked up to ever higher courts. Sooner or later, you have to stop. But who gets to decide where to stop? We can't sit around all day rethinking, doubting, and dithering. We have to place bets, make commitments, hunker down, and get to work. We need last words, even if they're provisional. This is the first in a series of videos I'll be making on Cred wars, Credonomics, what I call the last word paradox. Words make us crave last words that further words make impossible. God is only one way we claim last word cred. I count three main ways. We seem to be cycling through them across the millennia. God is an example of the top-down way to claim complete, conclusive credibility. I know what God sees and wants. Then there's the bottom-up approach. Start with the smallest possible things. Run the micro facts through logic and math to yield complete, conclusive credibility. And the third way is concluding that it's all a random crapshoot, what I call the doctrine of foregone inconclusion. What they all have in common is this eagerness to claim the eternally right perspective, and an aversion to something that I'll argue is paradoxically fundamental about reality, the way the bedrock can pull the rug out from under itself. It's the way that change changes. And not in eternally mysterious but explicable ways. I think there's a way out of this millennial-old looping between top-down, bottom-up, and no knowing that I'll try to get across in these videos.